Welcome, everyone. I'm so honored that you are here with me today. Today, we're stepping into another sacred space together where clarity flows not from guesswork, but from guidance that we receive from our ancestors. Before I worked with my ancestors, I tried everything. I have to be honest. I was searching for what to do next, and I read books, I took courses, I did certifications, I worked with coaches, I did prayer, I went to spiritual readers and channelers. And the advice was really good, but it always felt like it was misaligned, that it wasn't me, that it wasn't for me. It was like wearing somebody else's shoes that were close to fitting but didn't quite form to my feet. And I always felt that the information wasn't quite mine, that it was being filtered. And that's when I realized I needed to start connecting with my ancestors. Have you ever felt that way? Have you felt like your path you're on is almost right? It's almost there, but it's just not quite fully aligned to you and what you really want to do in the world. And so you start to feel like you're a little off. And, for some people, they start to feel like, am I ever going to figure this out? If you felt that way, then you can just drop that in the chat and I'll get a chance to take a look at it and see who is feeling like I did when I was making my transition out of one career into another. Today, we will open the portal to clarity with guidance from your divine council. I call them the divine council, and they include ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. And those were the guides that I worked with to help me decide what my next step would be, what I needed to do, and what I was here to do. They really helped me align deeper with my purpose. By the end of this session today, what you'll experience is what happens when you stop guessing and start listening to your ancestors. And today I'm going to take you on a journey so that you can start to hear your ancestors. And I'll give you more information about that and how it works and how consistently doing it will really help you. And then you'll learn two simple questions that I ask every day. These are the daily guidance questions that I ask every single day. And I'll share those with you. And you'll really know how to bring this into your own rhythm because you'll be able to go back and do this meditation again, whether you need to go back and listen to the guided meditation with me doing it, or if you just do it on your own and take that journey on your own. And then after the meditation, I'll stay for a few questions and I will also randomly select someone to receive messages from their ancestors. Only if you want it, though. So I'll give you an opportunity at the end to say yes or no, I'm interested in receiving a message from my ancestors. Then I'll randomly select someone and I'll give a message from the ancestors. And if I have enough time, then I might even be able to get more than one in. And this is just all a part of what people will experience when they enter into the ancestral power portal, which I'll tell you more about later, where we do have the opportunity to come together and I share with you what the ancestors have for you and who some of your ancestral wisdom keepers are. So let me tell you where I'm seeing some of the challenges that people are experiencing. What I hear oftentimes from my clients is that they've accomplished so much in their careers. They may have retired or they're now ready to move on to something different. For some people, they've even lost jobs. And, in the current economy, many people are losing their jobs. What I hear them saying after they tell me that they've been accomplished and that they've done a lot of things is that they don't know what the next step is. Many of them are not ready to just simply retire. They really want to do something more, whether it's a business or whether it's going back into the corporate world, doing something that feels more aligned. For some, it's starting a nonprofit or some type of a movement or a charitable organization of some sort. It is different for everybody. For some, it's just volunteering in the community, and for others of my clients, it's running for office. Whatever it is, there's a next step for you. Have you felt like you know that there's something more, but you're just not sure what the next step is? If you're not sure about your next step, just put that in there. Been through it to find alignment with my spiritual self. Exactly. Yes, 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 yes. If you have felt that way, I get it. I have too. I've been down that road. And what I notice is that when people ask me that question, or are asking that question, what do I do next? The question also comes with overthinking. Oftentimes people will begin to overthink, and then they start feeling stuck or disconnected. They enroll in more programs. I've seen this so often. I have worked with clients that are enrolled in a number of business programs, and they've enrolled in so many that they can't take advantage of any of them because there's just too many. But they thought more was going to bring them clarity. And then we collect certifications. How many of you have felt like you keep feeling like you need to get certified in more and more and more stuff? You need a certification in some healing modality. You need a certification. Yes, Yana says, yes, yes, that's me. Exactly. I see that so often when I talk to people. Oh, I just need this one more certification. Or I talk to people who have some beautiful gifts. They have something incredible to offer, but they feel like they can't do it until they get certified by somebody else who qualifies them to do what their ancestors have already passed to them. The ancestors have already given them this gift. They've given them this ancestral medicine, but they feel like they have to get a certification in order for them to be believed. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not true. Now, I'm not saying that certifications aren't helpful or that there's anything wrong with enrolling in programs. Those are often necessary and they really do support you and they help you. But when you find yourself at a point where you're just continuously enrolling in programs, continuously getting certifications, and you're never bringing it together to create something, that's where the problem comes in. That's where we start having some challenges. And I've seen that so often that people have invested thousands and thousands of dollars in programs and certifications, and they've done nothing with it. And that's where this ancestral work comes in, the ancestral medicine and the sacred blueprint. When you know what those are, when you know what that inherited medicine is that's in your blood and bones, that you can now use to create something, now you start to know how to use your ancestral gifts and your certifications and these programs to bring it together to create something absolutely beautiful. And that's what happens inside of the ancestrally rooted experience. So the other thing that happens sometimes too is some of us even go to AI to map out our next chapter. I'm not saying AI is bad. It isn't. It is very, very helpful. It can be very, very useful. But here's where it's most powerful. When you know what your ancestral medicine is, when you receive the guidance from your ancestors, when you know what your sacred blueprint is. Now, your sacred blueprint is includes who your wisdom keepers are, what your ancestral medicine is, what you're here to do, who's here to support you and guide you from the spirit world, who are the spirit guides that are working with you, who are the angels that are working with you. We create all of that. And when you know that, now you can take it to AI to map out a plan, to map out to really get your map, to figure out what your next chapter is. So it's very, very useful when you have all of that information up front. But what happens is we do all of these things, and as I said, clarity just doesn't come. And here's what I discovered. It's not that you need more tools. It's not that you need more tools. You need a council of wisdom you can trust. Your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels. This is the council that already knows your path because they've walked it before you. And that's where the clarity lives for you, is in having that connection and knowing who's on your team, who's on your council that's helping and supporting you. And these people that are on your council, right? I call them people because they're my people. They're in the spirit world, but they're my people. These spirit people that are on our council have the wisdom. They know what our life purpose is. They're our spirit guides. They know what the purpose is. They're our ancestors. They've walked this path. They know what the earthly challenges are. They know what the medicine is that has been passed down for you. And then we have the angels that we can hire to help carry out a lot of the work. And that's where our divine counsel becomes so powerful. And let me share a little bit of how I actually learned this. Now, I started my career in construction management engineering. Yes, engineering background. And I was pretty good at it, actually. I helped manage multi-million dollar projects, large teams, and I was responsible for really strict deadlines. I help inspect and approve project materials to help make sure that the building had a solid foundation. And I knew that there was something about working to help a structure have a solid foundation that really was going to transfer into the next thing that I was here to do, which I was unclear about. And I really liked the work. But deep down, I knew there had to be something more. There was something about it that just didn't quite hit it for me. Although I had spent the time going to school and learning, it just wasn't it. And I think looking back on it, I was here to help build, but it wasn't necessary buildings. And so my first step was to find options within the company, and I did. And when I found the options within the company, I looked and I found a program that was a leadership program where I became part of a high level leadership development team helping leaders within our company develop. And my part of that leadership team mostly consisted around personal growth. And that's when I started realizing things were opening up. Now, how did that happen? I started connecting. I prayed, I read, I studied, I invested in coaches to help me. But I also started connecting with my guides. I started listening to my intuition. And that's when things really started to open up and these opportunities started to come. And that leadership team, didn't even, according to the information, didn't really qualify because I was supposed to have worked with the company for a large number of years before I could have ever been on that team. I was there for 3 years and I ended up on the team. These things can happen when you start to have that connection with your divine counsel. So, as I said, the guidance I received was good, but it didn't fully align until I started really connecting with my ancestors and feeling their nudge. And at first, when I started hearing the messages, I thought they were just like great instincts, intuition. Sometimes I followed it, sometimes I didn't. And it was in the end that I realized that it really was my spirit council that was talking to me, that was telling me and giving me guidance. So the day I finally listened, when I really began to communicate directly, my ancestors shifted everything for me. They made it clear. I wasn't here to just climb ladders. I wasn't here to manage construction projects. I was born to teach, to heal, and to uplift, and to give people a solid foundation to do whatever it was that they wanted to do with their lives, and to help them create a legacy. And what was really cool is it really aligned because that's what I was doing with my friends and my family. Always the one that people came to when they had a new idea and wanted to create something. And I'm like cheering them on and giving them ideas and supporting them. And it all became really clear. And while I was working on this leadership team, the company started going through downsizing. And I got to create a coaching program for the employees that were experiencing downsizing. Wasn't part of my job, but they let me do it anyway. And that's when I knew having this connection opens up opportunities that we never really even thought about. And that was a really big defining moment for me. And that was when I started really to awaken to my ancestral gifts. I started hearing these nudges and these instructions that they were giving me. My confidence even increased. My path became more aligned, and everything in my life started working and began with me carrying this legacy. and not from hustle, not from a whole lot of effort, but just by being open to the guidance. So let me share a little bit about one of my clients and her experience. So you know mine, but let me share one of my clients, and I'm so excited to share this because this is something that she and I were just having a conversation about this just the other day. So one of my clients, she's a nonprofit leader, and she is highly respected. I respect the work that she's doing. She's working with foster youth who have aged out of the system, providing them a foundation. And she started this because she was one of those young people who really struggled, who lived in her car while she was attending college because she didn't have any place to go and didn't have any support. She has poured her entire life into this work. While working a full-time job, she started this program. She then went on to transition full-time into the program. But after doing this for a number of years, she started asking herself, am I really on the right path? What's next for me? What should I be doing? So she came to me and said, I need some help. I want to connect with my ancestors. I feel like there's more that I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like there's some healing work that I need to do with my ancestors as well. And I want to know if they have something else for me. And during her session, her great great grandmother, was one of the wisdom keepers of the ancestral medicine in her lineage. And she shared how she herself was a midwife, excuse me. She was a midwife and she brought life into the world. And she said that that is what my client was supposed to be doing, holding women through their transitions, right? Helping women through their transitions. And most of the young people that she was working with were girls, or should I say young women, because they're 18 years old and have aged out of the system. And so she was working with them, but most of what she was doing is just helping them with that part of the transition. And what she began to realize is there was more for her to do, that it didn't just stop at helping them get housing, helping them get enrolled in school, helping them with money management. It really was supporting them throughout their college career or through their certifications or through the beginnings of, working, but to really carry it on a little bit further by helping them really navigate life full scale. And she started changing her program and she started adding more opportunities, more services, bringing in other coaches to come in and coach the young people to help them. And now she provides a 10-year support system, whereas before it was a couple of years, 3 years, sometimes four, depending on the situation. Now it's a 10-year support program. Some of these young women she has supported them all the way through them buying their homes, having children, their first careers. I mean, it's been completely amazing. And all of that came, and all of that shift came after we had the conversation with her ancestor, her great great grandmother, about what is it that she was supposed to be carrying forward from here? What were her next steps? What was she supposed to do? And that's why I always say clarity isn't out there, out somewhere. It's already in your lineage. It's already there. We just have to connect into it. We have to connect into it. So, how many people are connecting with their ancestors on a daily basis? Who's connecting with their ancestors on a daily basis? And can you relate to that story where you're at a point in your life where you want something different, but you're not sure what it is? Just type a yes. Yes, if you've experienced that feeling. Yes. Yana says yes. And I may not pronounce your name right. I want to make sure I do. Sabah, it's a pretty name. Yes, yeah, Heather. Yes, yeah, we've all, I think a lot of us have felt that way as we're taking this walk and going on this journey. And this is where it can stop. This is where we start to have these deeper connections to help us with guidance and to support us on our journey. And today I want to actually give you an opportunity to experience that. I'm going to take you on a guided meditation. Now, what I want you to do before we start the guided meditation is I want you to take a moment to bring to mind a question or guidance you're seeking. A question or guidance you're seeking. So just bring that to mind. Very good. Okay. Does everybody have it? If you have your question, just type a yes, question or guidance you're seeking. You don't have to tell me what it is. You can if you want to, but you can just type a yes. Let me know that you're there. And I'll let you know while you're doing that and typing yes. Good, good, good. Got yeses. Perfect. Perfect. I want to make sure that everyone is on mute. So if you're not muted, please make sure you mute yourself. Good job. Okay, good. Okay, it looks like everyone is really tapping into that question that they have. And the next thing I want you to do is not feel like you have to connect to a specific ancestor. Because oftentimes people are concerned that the ancestor that they want to connect to, they're not sure if they can. That's one problem. Then I have people that are disconnected from their ancestral roots for various reasons, and they feel like they can't do this work because they're not connected to their ancestors. Maybe there was conflict, or maybe a person was adopted and they don't know, or maybe they had bad relationships with their parents, grandparents. We're going to just set that all aside. And today we're only connecting with those healthy, whole, loving, kind, and pure ancestors. Only the ones that are here to support you on your path. We're not connecting with any of those that still need healing. That's for another time, that's for another session. But today we want to connect with the ones that hold the guidance, that hold the wisdom. And when I was preparing to do this meditation, I asked the ancestors to make sure that as we're in this sacred space, those are the ancestors that will connect with you. Those are the ancestors that will come through, those healthy, heal, whole ancestors, those loving and kind beings that are here to guide you on your path. Those who are the wisdom keepers that are here to hold the wisdom from your lineage, those are the ones that we want to bring in today. Those are the ones we want to work with. So set that intention that only the most loving and kind ancestors in your family lineage will come forward. Only the most loving and kind ancestors that you feel a direct connection with will come forward, whether they're blood related or not. Those are the ones that will come forward. And now, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes and you feel comfortable doing so, if you're not, then just kind of listen as we're going through and then go back and do this meditation later. Oh, like I said, I'll have the replay. It'll be on my YouTube channel. You'll see the link is already in the chat. It'll be on the YouTube channel. You can go back and take a look at it later. So close your eyes and make sure you place your feet on the ground. Just place your feet on the ground and take a slow, deep breath and release. This time, I want you to breathe in a beautiful white light and then feel that light just move through your body as you exhale. And then notice that there's a beautiful yellow beam of light coming from the crown, connecting you to the spirit world. And imagine this light stretching behind you, the sides of you, and all around you now. This light surrounds you. And within this light, you're attracting your ancestors, angels, and spirit guides. They're all coming in around you. And now they're going to go on a journey with you. They're going to take this walk with you. And you're walking with them through a beautiful garden. And as you walk through the garden, you come to the healing pool. And while we know sometimes there's some things that we need to release in order to fully embrace the guidance that we seek, we're going to take a minute to stop by this healing pool. And in the center of this healing pool is a giant, beautiful crystal. And your ancestors bring you to the edge and they guide you into this healing pool of crystal clear spring water. It's a natural healing pool that has been designed just for you. And if there's something that you feel like you just need to release and let go of, or you genuinely want to just release something that has been holding you back, something that you feel is blocking you from taking the next step, that's something, that belief system, that idea that you may be holding on to that is keeping you from taking your next step. We want to release this into the crystal clear water. Let the crystal and the spring water heal you. Let it release and dissolve. Now, you may be standing on the edge and not wanting to go deep into the water. You may be deep in the water, under the water, floating on the water. Whatever it is for you, be in that moment and let everything just release. And now your ancestors are welcoming you back. And as you step out of the water, you start to dry off completely. And you're ready to take the next steps with your ancestors. And your ancestors are guiding you into this beautiful garden where you sit in a circle with the ancestors. Now, you may not know their names, but you carry their strength, their wisdom, and their prayers. And they're surrounding you and gathered around you to support you. And one of your ancestral guardians, steps forward. Invite them to come closer to you. Notice that they feel warm, steady, and calm. This is the ancestor that holds the wisdom for your next step. This is the ancestor that is one of your wisdom keepers. This is the ancestor that knows your ancestral medicine. This is the ancestor that will walk with you today and in the days ahead to help you clarify what's next for you. As you sit with this ancestor and all of the ancestors gathered around you, smiling and looking at you with love, here's 2 questions to ask. Ask first, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to know right now? And listen for the guidance and the answer. Now, the answer may be in words, it may be in symbols, it may even be a gift that they offer to you. You may not get anything right in this moment, and that's perfectly okay. It will come. But ask the question, what do I need to know right now? And the second question, what is my next step? What is my next step? And just pause and listen and trust what you sense, whether it's a word, a feeling, an image, or simply peace. Ask, what is my next step? Now just take one more deep breath and exhale slowly. And now offer gratitude to your ancestors. Thank them for their guidance and support today and every day after. And now all of your ancestors rise. They gather around you, sending you beautiful energy, energizing you to take the next steps on your path in your journey. And they guide you back out of the garden, past the healing pool, all the way into the present moment. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So, whatever you felt, even if it was very subtle, it's real guidance. It's real guidance. And this is the beginning of what becomes possible when you bring ancestral connection into your daily rhythm. And this is something that you can do every day. You can take this journey by listening to the guided journey or just take your own journey. Guide yourself into the healing waters, guide yourself into the garden. Invite the ancestors around you and ask those two questions. I do this every day and it really helps. And sometimes I get the message right then and right there. Sometimes it's a few days later. And sometimes it's an image or it's the peacefulness that comes over me knowing that that message is getting ready to come, even though it may not be there yet. Sometimes it's a symbol. I've received symbols all the time. And sometimes it shows up in my dream. The answer's right there in my dream. Whatever it is for you, know that it's coming and that this is just the beginning. Now, what you just experienced is a small portion of what we cover in the Ancestral Power Portal. In the Ancestral Power Portal, I am guiding you on these journeys. You'll have these small rituals that you do, the very short rituals. I shouldn't say small, they're very short because they are very powerful. But they're 2 or 3 minute rituals that you do in the morning and at night. Very simple things that you do and meditations to help heal any of the karmic stories that may be keeping you from having a full connection with your wisdom keepers and your ancestral guides. And we have 3 live sessions that are very similar to this, where I take you on a guided journey and then I connect you with your ancestors. And every person in the group will receive guidance from their ancestors, one on one, right there in the group. We hold a wisdom circle where you get to experience that. So everyone will hear from their ancestors, which is why I'm keeping the group small. And I'm only opening this to 15 people. We have a few spaces left. There aren't many. If you're interested, I'd love to have you there. And just imagine being able to connect with your ancestors over a 21-day period where you start to have a very deep connection with them to help you know what your next steps are, to help you open up doors that were closed, to help you come up with the ideas that you didn't know were there, like my client that I mentioned with the nonprofit for foster youth. Open up doors like the job that opened up for me, even though I wasn't necessarily qualified for the job. I was qualified to do the job, but I didn't have the qualifications and the number of years that I needed to be at the company in order for me to be in that job. So, what I'm saying to you is ancestors can open doors that you didn't know were there. And this 21 days is a real entry point for you to receiving that. You'll learn who to call on in your lineage. You'll learn how to create some of your own rituals so that you can keep the connection flowing. You'll receive daily wisdom notes and affirmations to support you with staying connected with your ancestors. And you'll gain consistent clarity for your next steps. Now, this isn't another course. This is an initiation. This is something that easily fits right into your life. So it isn't like, oh, I got to take another course and this is another. Nope, this is a daily practice that you begin to implement in your life to receive connection. This is the real bridge to not only ancestral connection, but deeper connection with your spirit guides and your angels. Or for some, this is the first time connecting with their spirit guides and angels. This is an opportunity for you to have that. And this is, like I said, a 21-day program that guides you and supports you with small, easy, quick practices that will help you have that deeper connection. And then 3 live sessions with me where you'll get clarity directly from your wisdom keepers. Everything will be included in a portal. All of the meditations will be in the portal. All of the daily rituals will be in the portal. Everything will be right there at your fingertips, and you'll have access to it for 90 days. 90 days after we finish the 21 days, you'll have full access to all of the recordings, all of the meditations, and all of the material, and all of the extra bonuses that I'm including as well. And so the members that are already in the group will be receiving access to their portal today. And I'm going to start dropping in some extra bonuses for them as well. Okay, so that is the portal. And what I'm going to do is drop the link to it right here. If you'd like to join, and if you have questions, if you want to learn more about it and you have some questions, I know a few of you have already signed up that are here today. If you have some questions about the Ancestral Power Portal and whether or not it's the right fit for you, then definitely just reach out to me, send a message, and I will either schedule some time to talk to you or we'll just correspond through email to find out what you need and whether or not this is a good fit for you. Enrollment is going to end in a few days because we start on October 1st. So enrollment will end in a few days. And the investment right now is $333. And the reason why right now the investment is low is because this is our first cohort and I'm pouring everything into it. And when we offer this again, obviously the price is going to be much higher. So if you'd like to be a part of the first group where you'll receive a lot of the extra bonuses that maybe other people won't get in the second cohort, I encourage you to join us now. Okay, so this is the next step. So join the Ancestral Power Portal today if you want to experience more of this. Okay, let's close a little bit before I actually open up for questions. I just want to share with you that the ancestors always provide clarification. The ancestors are your spiritual connection to more direction in your life. And strategies like in tools and AI, they all have its place and they're all very, very helpful once you have the clarity. Because clarity doesn't come from them, it comes from your ancestors, your angels, and your spirit guides. The clarity that you need to know what is completely aligned that brings that passion for you. Your ancestors are always here guiding you. The only question is, are you ready to listen to that guidance? That is what's important. Okay, I want to open the portal for questions now. And what I'd like you to do is just, think about what questions you have about ancestors, connections, spirit guides, angels. I'm here for it all. So if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions. And this isn't necessarily ask a specific question about your ancestors, that's saved for being in the ancestral power portal, where you will get an opportunity to ask specific questions about your ancestral guidance. But before I open to people asking questions about the ancestors, I'm going to select someone who would like to receive a direct message from their ancestors. If that is you, if you're interested, I'm going to do a random selection. So last time I closed my eyes, I just moved my cursor, and wherever it stopped, that is the person that got to unmute and ask their question. But before I do that, what I want you to do is think about, what guidance do you need? What guidance do you need? What are you looking for? And I want to be sure that if you're selected, that you keep it very brief so that I have time to give you the answer and give you a chance to really hear the guidance. If I need more questions, if I have more questions to get clarification, I'll ask you those, but I want you to keep it kind of brief and not general. Don't just say, well, what do my ancestors have for me? Really ask something that you really would like to have some support on. And sometimes they'll bring the support, or sometimes they'll tell you which ancestor holds the wisdom that you need, and then give you some ideas on how to connect with that particular ancestor for guidance. But either way, I want you to just stop for a minute and think about, what guidance do you need? And just know that as I'm sharing the ancestral messages for one person, I want you to just kind of listen to what's being said to see if there's something in there, some nuggets of wisdom in there for you that may support you as well. But when you set the intention to have the question answered, whether I work with your ancestors directly here today, you set the intention that you want that answer in this really powerful sacred space, which means that in now or in the days ahead, you'll receive the answer to that question anyway. So just think about that question. And then if you would like to be the one to receive a message, what I want you to do is raise your hand. So just you can either turn your camera on and raise your hand, or you can just raise your hand. And as I see these hands going up, that will help me the reason why I'm asking is because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. It's my belief that I do not provide ancestral guidance or any type of spiritual guidance to people without them giving me permission. I think that's just what you do. It's ethical, right? It's just a part of being responsible for your gifts. You don't shove your information down someone's throat who isn't ready to receive it. Now, mind you, in receiving this, for those of you who haven't worked with me before, you're not going to find out whether or not you're going to win the lottery tomorrow. You're not going to find out, if you're going to break up with your husband, or if your boyfriend is cheating on you. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're looking at what are your next steps and guidance from that direction. Okay? Anyone else? I have 4 hands up. If you'd like to join, and if you, for some reason, don't know how to raise your hand, you can actually drop a yes in the comments, or drop me in the comments, just in case there's somebody else. Okay. Okay, got it. Yashin. Okay. Anyone else? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to allow my cursor to roll around. Okay, we're over here, and that would be Yashin. I'll have you unmute.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. What is your question?
What direction should I be going career-wise?
What direction should you be going career-wise? Okay, so tell me a little bit about the options that you have.
Well, I want to start my own business.
Mhm.
Um, I have a couple of different business ideas. I'm on my spiritual journey and tapping into different things with that. I wanted to start a business doing something, spiritual. I do different herbs, learning about different herbs and that sort of stuff, and being doing holistic, um, like eating better, cleaner life, um, holistic, taking the holistic route
Beautiful.
for me and my family.
Okay.
And I like teaching, but I'm not sure what to teach on or teach about. I have experience in many different things, but just not clear about which direction I should be going in.
Okay, great. That's good information. Okay, sounds like you have a lot of ways that you can do your work. And what I heard was sort of the central theme is the spiritual and kind of herbal health work that you're interested in doing. Correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
beautiful. Okay. And what's also great with that is the teaching part that you were wondering about can actually be included in that. Okay, let's connect in with your ancestors. Great great grandmother on your mother's father's side, was a healer, an herbalist, and was the person that people came to when they were sick. She was the one that they came to when they needed healing. She was the one that they came to when they were maybe in an accident or something along that nature. They were seeing around her, there were people that were injured working somehow. And she was the one that everyone came to for this healing work. And her message to you is all of what you just talked about can be brought together. And that while she was the healer, you're the one that is here to help people live a healed life, live a healed life, right? And so your work is not necessarily completely focused on helping people heal, but it's helping people to live a healed life, to live healthy, and providing them with tools, resources, ideas, guidance to live a healthy life. Whether it be mental health, physical health, whatever it is, that it's spiritual health, then that is what you're here to do with them. And her message to you is she wants you to, do you drink iced tea?
Not really.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, then I want you, she does. She did. So I want you to get a glass of iced tea and then
Okay.
whatever beverage you want for yourself and
Okay.
go sit somewhere in nature for a moment and invite this grandmother to come and to help you with really being clear about what the gifts are in your lineage that you can bring forward to help people live a healed life. And there's something about that live a healed life that is really important for your work. There are a lot of people that are healing, doing healing work, but you're actually taking those that have been healed and helping them to thrive.
Okay.
And so that's her message for you is to sit. She, like I said, your offering to her is a glass of iced tea. You
Okay.
take whatever beverage you want. Go sit somewhere by a tree or outside, or if you like to hike, go hike wherever, whatever feels comfortable for you in a park, in your backyard, wherever you can, where you can be outside with her. And
Okay.
just bring her iced tea and just sit outside. And when you're finished, pour the iced tea into the earth as a
Okay.
drink to her, as an honoring to her for the
Okay.
support that she's bringing forward for you to help you take the next steps on your journey.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Does that resonate for you?
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. I've heard stories about her. We've been trying to find out information about her because we hear bits and pieces from the family that she was a healer, like you said, that she did hoodoo, but nobody has any evidence of that. We just hear the stories in the family, um, because a lot of us never really knew her. You know, she passed on um, before we came along. So yeah, that resonates.
Right. And those stories weren't documented, right? That information
Right,
was not necessarily documented because in many cases it was forbidden. They weren't
right,
supposed to be practicing hoodoo or any African spirituality. There was nothing was supposed to be done. So it was often hidden. And that's why now the messages, as these ancestresses are rising to support us, they're wanting us to come out of hiding, that there's no more a reason to be in hiding, that we can walk openly with these gifts and share them with the world. And that is a message for you as well. Right now, you may not have the information directly about her, but you know now that she's coming forward to support you and to guide you. But yeah, it's very common not to have that information and for it to be passed down by word of mouth. Yeah.
right, right.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. Questions. Does anybody have a question about ancestors, ancestral guidance, support, the ancestral power portal? What questions do you have? I'm open. I see that there's a couple of hands up, but I'm thinking that might be people who were wanting specific questions. But if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay, Dr. Monique.
Hi, Anna.
I do have a question, but I also was raising my hand for a reading. But um, lately, my creativity has come back to life. And I wanted to, I guess I want to distinguish whether it is me or the ancestors because I was getting ideas that were just coming like crazy, like redoing some art that I've done in the past and doing the, changing it and coming up with different titles which I never would have come up with. And it's like, why did that come up? So, is that my ancestors? Is that my spirit guides? Is that my internal soul? Or is it all combined together? What is it?
Well, for you, and I'm glad you're in the Ancestral Power Portal because we're going to be able to go deeper with that question and you'll be able to ask that. But what I'm getting right away is that your divine counsel is saying it's time to elevate you. And now is the time for you to be public, to be seen, and to refine your identity as an artist. And that's why you may be going back and looking at pieces and making some, some changes to them because you're really defining your next steps.
Mm,
The when we work with the ancestors, we get information, but they also are connecting us to our spirit guides. So your spirit guides know what your life purpose is. They know why you're here. And what may be happening is they're actually helping you gain clarity about what your work is and how it helps people. And your ancestors are working with those who came before you in your lineage, who have some creative gifts, and they're bringing those together for you. Now, the key is, and we'll do more of this in the Ancestral Power Portal on our live session. Now the key is connecting with some of those angels to help deliver your work. A lot of times we think we have to do it, and I always say, hire an angel, let them carry it out for you.
I would be happy to.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That
Okay,
answer your question?
that did. That did.
Good, wonderful.
But part of it is me. I mean, they're part of me, I guess.
Yes, they
Okay.
are. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You asked about, is it me? It is absolutely you. I mean, at the center of it all is you. At the center is your soul, your purpose, your passion, your reason for being. You're at the center of it all. Now they're helping you to gain more clarity about it. But it is you. It's your work, it's your gift, it's your message, it's what you're putting into the world. Now they're coming around you to support you in elevating it.
Okay. So right now, I don't know which ancestor has been whispering in my ear or whatever,
Yeah,
which one it is, but it's just a lot of inspiration has been coming through, and it's real exciting at this point in time.
beautiful. And sometimes you want to know who it is, but sometimes you don't really need to. And sometimes they don't say. Sometimes they don't tell us who they are. They just come through and start helping. And some of them are here today to help with something, and they may be around for a week, a month, a year, and then there's another one that comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, there
All
you
right.
go.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
I'll put my hand down because someone else can
Okay,
get the
no
spiritual
problem.
reading. Okay.
Okay. Do the ancestors come in differently than the spirit guides? Yes, they do. They do a little bit. Your ancestors will often feel familiar to you because there is that blood connection. So you'll feel sort of a familiar, loving, caring, warmth, sort of like a grandmother to a grandchild, right? A great grandmother anyway, one that is kind and loving. But if you think about in general, grandmothers unconditional love for their grandchildren, and that really is how the ancestors come through in this unconditional loving, caring, kind way. The ones that are healed, the ones that aren't healed, that's a little bit different, but the ones that are healed, that's how they come in. And then the spirit guides, you'll just feel like it's familiar. And when they're giving you guidance, it may not feel warm and fuzzy. It just feels like this is familiar. This hits right on. This is just, there's no doubt. It'll come more than once. They'll say it and share with you in multiple ways to help you see where you're going. And that's the biggest difference that happens with knowing which one is which. And then there's other tools and things that I can share with you as well that help. So hopefully that answered your question. One of my cousins passed away when he was 26. He is also an ancestor now. Yes, he is. Oftentimes we think ancestors are people who are old. Not necessarily. Our ancestors can be a 3-year-old, can be an infant. They're all a part of the ancestral world. And any one of them can come and be a source of guidance. And I've seen situations where I have clients that are really serious, they're dedicated to their work. They're not doing a whole lot outside their work. They don't really have a social life. And I'll have a 3-year-old that will come through and want to talk to them about playing again. And that is their wisdom keeper for that period of their life. to create more play. And that means that your ancestors from any age can be a part of your guidance team. And yes, very much so. The 26-year-old that passed away, and I'm sorry about your cousin passing away. He is an ancestor now and can definitely provide guidance. The other thing too is if it's an ancestor that recently passed away, then we don't necessarily connect with them for guidance at this point. We're giving them time for their transition. We're giving them time to maybe heal anything that needs to be healed before they become ascended ancestors. I've talked before about ascended and astral ancestors being those ancestors that are still caught in between the earthly plane and the spiritual plane who haven't quite healed yet, that may need our support and help. Ascended ancestors are those whole, healthy, healed ancestors that we talked about earlier today that you're connecting with. And we want to give one who has passed on time to make that distinction. So there you go. Okay. You're welcome. Love and light to you as well. And you're welcome for the question as well. So let's see. Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay, well, I would like to thank you all for being here, for joining me today. I would love to have you in the Ancestral Power Portal. And if you want to join, once again, I'll pop the link in here. If you'd like to join the Ancestral Power Portal, please join us, be a part of it. Yana's a part of it, and so are some other really incredible women, and would love to have you be a part of it as well. If you have questions about it, once again, send me an email. We'll either schedule time to talk, or you can ask your questions in the email. No pressure whatsoever. If it's right for you, you'll know it. If it isn't, that's okay as well. And I am just delighted that you were here. Thank you for joining me. If you are listening to the replay, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, share with other people as well. Let's grow. This is a movement for people across the globe to connect with their ancestors and to share their ancestral medicine. So let's just take a moment to close out. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Thank you to the ancestors that joined us today. Thank you to the ancestors surrounding us, guiding us, supporting us. Thank you to the Creator. Thank you to spirit guides. Thank you to our angels and all of the spiritual beings that continue to support us and guide us on your path. May this energy reach everyone who needs healing and who needs guidance. May this energy be sent out to each and every one of them in full faith. So be it. So be it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night, depending on where you are, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.